all made up in my head. Destiny's melody calling out to me, so what I'm gonna do is fall for you and walk out to the edge.
Yo, what's going on, guys? Impulse video today. I'm bringing another video. And in this video, I'm doing my first ever DCEU video. And in this one, I'm going to be ranking the DCEU movies. So I did a community post on what DC related video you want, and DCEU movies got the most votes. So I'm going to be ranking all 8. I watched Birds of Prey only 2 days ago on my birthday. I watched it with my brother. So now I've watched all of the DCEU movies, so I'll be ranking them all for you guys. So, leave a like if you enjoyed. Leave a like if you enjoy, and if you want to see more DCEU videos. I have all the details for secondary main villains and main villains done. I'm doing them all based on categories. So yeah, I'm doing them based on categories, and whoever has the most points ranks number 1, and the least last place. So yeah, leave a like if you want to see that. I've done already secondary main villains and main villains. I just need to record them. But yeah, I'll only do it if you want to see. So now let's move on to number 8.
Quick history lesson. This war started when the Joker and I broke up. It was completely mutual. And soon enough, I was back on my feet, ready to embrace the fierce goddess within.
It's so quiet.
Now that I cut ties with Mr. J, I'm about to learn that a lot of people want me dead.
All alone.
And at the top of that list is this guy.
And so peaceful.
But it turns out I wasn't the only dame in Gotham looking for emancipation.
Coming in last place is the newest DCEU movie, Birds of Prey. Now, this is the only DCEU movie that I actually didn't really like. I actually enjoyed every single one, including this one, but like this one I didn't like that much. This is definitely my least favorite. A lot of people might disagree with that, but again, I haven't said this. But yeah, this is just my opinion, so don't get mad at me in the comments. Don't dislike because you have a different opinion than me. It's just an opinion, so yeah. But yeah, I didn't really like this movie that much. There was some good elements, like Roman Sionis and Victor Zsasz, like good. They were pretty good. Yeah, they were pretty good. I just the overall storyline didn't work that well. It just it was still enjoyable, but not as enjoyable as the next ones. So yeah, that was number 8. Now let's move on to second last place, which you probably already know what it's going to be, because this one is probably the least popular one. But yeah, let's move on to number 7.
I want to assemble a task force of the most dangerous people on the planet.
They're bad guys. Worst of the worst.
Too late. Open the gate. My time has come. Send shivers down my spine.
Was this cheerleading trials?
All the time.
Hi, boys.
Goodbye, everybody.
Deadshot. Guy shoots people. He's a crocodile and he eats people. Burns people. You're possessed by a witch, and she's just crazy.
What was that? I should kill everyone and escape? Sorry.
As infamous as this movie is, I actually did enjoy it. The main storyline was pretty good. I did not like the villain in Enchantress, I'll be honest there. Enchantress wasn't really a good villain, at all. Because, they made Task Force X to do what? To stop something. But the thing that they ended up stopping, they ended up stopping was the witch that they put on Task Force X, or the Suicide Squad. So what's the point of this movie? What was the point of Task Force X originally? I have no idea. But yeah. As much as I do like this movie, it is one of the worst ones in the DCEU. So yeah. Now let's move on to number 6.
Arthur Curry, the Aquaman. It's on him.
Organic and biomechatronic body parts. He's a cyborg.
You should probably move. Barry Allen.
Whoever you're looking for, it's not me. You're the Batman?
He said the age of heroes would never come again.
It has to.
Similar to Suicide Squad, this movie is really infamous. I don't really know why, but like I'll be honest, Steppenwolf is probably the worst villain in the DCEU, but I'm pretty sure Darkseid is going to be the villain of the Snyder Cut, so I'm excited for that. I'm also excited for the Flash movie, and for Shazam 2, and for Black Adam, and for Wonder Woman 1984, and any other DCEU movies coming soon. But yeah, I might actually do a video on ranking excitement for those movies from worst to best, but whatever. We're focusing on this video right now. Justice League was a good movie in my opinion, but the like main story arc, like the villain wasn't that good. Yeah, the villain wasn't that good, and his motivation wasn't really clear. He said at one point for Darkseid, but I don't know if that was like, I don't know if that's his motivation. He's doing all this for Darkseid, which Darkseid is Steppenwolf's nephew in the comics, and I'm guessing that's the case here. But yeah, Steppenwolf wasn't a good villain, but the actual story arc was pretty good with the heroes all teaming up and becoming the Justice League. The way that Superman came back to life, I mean, that was a little bit rushed, I think. Like, why did they kill him in the first place if they're just gonna resurrect him in like halfway through the movie? But yeah, again, people don't really like this movie that much, but I did. So yeah, let's move on to number 5. Yes, 5.
Today is a day for truth. The world needs to know what happened and to know what he stands for. That kind of power is very dangerous. Let the record show that this committee holds him responsible.
That's how it starts. The fever. The rage.
A lot of people hate this movie for 2 reasons. 1, Lex Luthor was cast really badly, and number 2, because of the Martha scene. I think those are the 2 reasons that people dislike this movie the most for. And while I agree that Lex Luthor was really miscast, he probably should have been like the Riddler or the Joker or something like that. He had like the eccentricism as like for those characters, one of them or something like that. And Lex Luthor, that didn't work very well. John Cryer was miles better as Lex Luthor. If you don't know who John Cryer is, he's the guy that played Alan in 2.5 Men, and he's the guy that plays Lex Luthor in the Arrowverse, and he's really good as Lex Luthor in the Arrowverse. But what's his name? Jesse Eisenberg, something like that. He wasn't that good as Lex Luthor. But the Martha scene, people criticize it because they think, why? Batman's literally, like, sparing Superman because they have the same mother's name. But that's not the case. That's not why Batman spared him. like Batman was just like seeing him as his enemy. He was like this guy helped destroy the city. He needs to be stopped. He's just an alien. He's not human. He shouldn't be here. But he didn't stop to consider that Superman does have a family, and that's why he spared him. I understand why people didn't like that scene. But like it's not as bad as you might think it is. It's not bad at all. So yeah. Now let's just move on to number 4. You could probably guess what it is. Number 3 and 4 are kind of interchangeable for most people, but I like number 3 a little bit more. So yeah, let's just show you what it is.
I used to want to save the world. This beautiful place. But the closer you get, the more you see the great darkness within. I learned this the hard way a long, long time ago.
If you couldn't gather from that, this is number 4 on the list is Wonder Woman. I think this movie did a really good job of explaining Wonder Woman's origins. Steve Trevor was pretty good. Ares, I don't think a lot of people really like him. But I do think he was actually done pretty well, probably as well as he could have been. He was pretty good. He wasn't terrible, but he was pretty good. He wasn't terrible, but he wasn't that good. Wasn't amazing, not terrible. Good. He was good. Not really good, just good. I gotta stop talking about Ares. Yeah, Ares was a good villain. But like, I like how it showed that. I like the way that it showed Wonder Woman's backstory, and how it was for her, like when she lost Steve, and that's what she talks about in Justice League. Although in Justice League, she's just like, I lost someone I loved once, but literally that was 100 years ago. But yeah, anyway, yeah, Wonder Woman is a good movie. Not as good as the next 3 on the list. You could probably gather what number 1 is going to be. That movie is amazing. One of my favorite movies of all time. But yeah, this movie was really good. And my brother thinks it's the best DCEU movie. I don't agree with that, but I do think it's really good. Good backstory for Wonder Woman, and I think it was, it played out really well. It was good how she fought in World War I. But yeah, okay, now let's move on to number 3.
You're the answer, son. You're the answer to are we alone in the universe?
Can I just keep pretending I'm your son?
You are my son. And I have to believe that you were sent here for a reason. And even if it takes the rest of your life, you owe it to yourself to find out what that reason is.
How do you find someone who has spent a lifetime covering his tracks? For some, he was a guardian angel. For others, a ghost who never quite fit in.
You will give the people of Earth an ideal to strive towards. They will race behind you. They will stumble. They will fall. But in time, they will join you in the sun. In time, you will help them accomplish wonders.
The first ever DCEU movie was actually really good. Zod is one of my favorite villains in the DCEU, if not my favorite. And yeah, yeah, and the fact that he was in the first movie and he still holds up today is really good. It just tells you that the movie was one of the best. in the DCEU so far. And yeah, the acting was pretty good. Amy Adams is pretty good. Pretty good. She's not amazing, but she's good. Henry Cavill is really good in the role. Michael Shannon, I think his name was, the guy that played Zod. He was really good too. And it really did a good job of showing Superman and like his origin story, how a little bit of how he grew up, and the destruction of Krypton was really cool. And that whole storyline, the storyline we saw, like the origin of General Zod too, like why he's like so angry and wants to destroy Earth and stuff. And yeah, I think this movie was actually really good. The next two are probably the two most popular movies in the DCEU. I like one of them a lot better than the other one, but I love both so much. Both are some of my favorite movies of all time. So yeah, let's move on to number 2.
My father was a lighthouse keeper. My mother was a queen. But life has a way of bringing people together.
We could unite our worlds one day.
Check it out. Arthur is talking to the fish.
They made me what I am. Permission to come aboard.
I love this movie a lot. This is Aquaman, if you couldn't gather that. But yeah, my sister hates Aquaman. Like, physically hates him. Like, she's like, he's so lame. But nonetheless, this movie is so good that it made him one of my favorite superheroes of all time. Like, his powers are kind of like they're not the coolest powers in the world. But like, this movie is done so well. Like, the acting is good from Mara. I don't remember what her name was. Jason Momoa. I know that's Aquaman. What's Patrick Wilson. He's Orm. Patrick Wilson. He was perfectly cast in the role, I think. Black Manta was good too. He had really good acting. His storyline with them was not the best, but it was still really good. I think he was a good, like, secondary main villain. One of the best, if not the best, in the DCEU. But yeah, Black Manta was done really well. Not the best, because, like, I would have preferred that he'd be the main villain. But in, like, the next Aquaman movie, if there's ever, like, a Aquaman 2 or whatever, I'm 97% sure that Black Manta will be the villain because of the end credits scene. Where it showed him healing and getting, like, pissed and going for Aquaman. Yeah, this movie was really good. The acting was good. Some of the effects were a bit iffy, but nonetheless, I loved the movie so much. And, yeah, now let's move on to number 1. You probably already know what it is. It's the second newest, I'm pretty sure it's the second newest in the DCEU, and I don't think you can blame me for loving this movie so much. But yeah, okay, here's number 1.
Billy Batson, I choose you as champion.
Hello?
Say my name so my powers may flow through you.
But I don't know your name, sir.
Shazam.
Are you for real? Say, okay! Shazam?
This means Billy!
What is happening?
You're the only person I know that knows anything about this Cape Crusader stuff.
You guys have no idea how much I love Shazam. Shazam is by far the best DCEU movie. Zachary Levi is perfect in the role of Shazam. What's his name? The guy that played guy that played Dr. Savannah. I forgot his name. How did I forget his name? I don't remember. It's the same guy that played Sinestro in Green Lantern. But yeah, anyway, he was really good in the role too. He was good. He was a really good actor. One of the best one of the best villains in the DCEU. Shazam is perfect. Like the perfect DCEU movie. It perfectly showed Billy's origin, and like it cares. The director cares, or like the writers, the director, whatever. The people care about the characters. You can tell because they spent like an hour just developing the origin, developing the characters. The movie's like 2 hours, 2.5 hours, something like that, and an hour of that, the first hour, he wasn't even Shazam yet, which is insane because they care about the characters. You can tell, and that's one of the reasons why this movie is so good. The acting was great. The characters were great. I like Eddie from It. He's a good he was good in this movie. His name was Freddy, not Fazbear. Freddy, not Fazbear. That was his name. Yeah, Eddie. I forgot his name in real life, but I'm still trying to remember Black. I'm thinking of Black Adam for some reason, but Dr. Savannah's name. Forgetting his name still. Still don't remember his name. But yeah, the acting's amazing. The storyline is great. Especially that one line. That one line from Billy when he was about to go face Dr. Savannah. I think it was like, if a hero can't save his family, he's not much of a hero. And then, like, I think it was Eddie or somebody said that was, like, the best superhero line ever. Yeah. Anyways, that was my list on ranking all the DCEU movies. Let me know if you agree with my list, or give me your list in the comments down below. I love all the movies except Birds of Prey. I like Birds of Prey. I don't love it. And same with Suicide Squad. I like it, I don't love it. The rest though, I do love. I love all of them. But Shazam and Aquaman, like, you have no idea how much. But yeah, let me know in the comments what you think of my list. Don't dislike the video because I have a different opinion than you. It's just an opinion. So yeah, give me yours in the comments down below. Leave a like if you want to see more DCEU videos, like DCEU villains, DCEU secondary main villains. I'd prefer to do main villains before secondary main villains, but I do want to do both because I have them both planned out already. I also want to do ranking. I also want to do top 5 or top 6 best episodes of The Flash or Gotham or Supergirl, Arrow, Legends of Tomorrow. Probably not Legends of Tomorrow or Arrow yet. But yeah. Leave a like if you want to see more DCEU stuff. And yeah, see you guys in the next video. Impulse 7 out. Peace.